Hello beautiful people, welcome to the part 2 of my astrological forecast for next week, which is focused mostly on the full moon in Aquarius, even though prior to that we will experience the 8-8 portal, but I will record a separate video for that occasion on the 8-8, so stay tuned for that. And without the further ado, I'm going to pull some cards connected to the full moon in Aquarius, which we will experience next Saturday on August 9th. So let's just see what we've got coming up for us. If you would like to hear more about the astrology and see the chart interpretation, then tune into the part 1. This one is about the cards, so let's see. Okay, Queen of the Moon, what is the energy for the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th, 2025, please? Let's see what we've got. August 9th. So that's actually adding up to number 8, I believe, that day. So it's all about abundance and manifestation. So, okay, let's focus. The energy of the full moon in Aquarius. All right, what do we have? Discernment. Perfect. Discernment. And this is a number 10. Number 10, discernment. I hope you can see it clearly. Yeah, you can see that she has her like cloud around her head and she's holding the sun. And actually, like, yeah, like a whole solar system. Look, all these planets in her solar plexus, kind of. Yeah, solar plexus is below her heart. So yeah, discernment, like discern with your heart and discern with your intuition, discern with your inner sun, with your authentic expression, the sun, your authenticity. What is that really matters to you? You know, like if we like to me, what this really represents is like, imagine you have no logical brain, you know, you have no mind that is trying to dictate to you, you know, like these fears, you know, these concerns, this database of the past that is always trying to project past pattern. And then we do the same things because, you know, the past gets repeated. Also with the South Node being a sign of Virgo, you know, ruled by Mercury, still retrograde. And now Mars is no longer in Virgo. Actually, it's going to, well, at the time of me recording it, it is, but it's going to be in the sign of Libra for this full moon in Aquarius, the justice, you know, the opportunity to balance the scales of the old by discerning, by learning from the past, you know, with the Mercury being a sign of Leo from your heart, you know, don't really give so much attention and power to just the logical mind, you know, just to ego mind, you know. That's why I feel her head is in, you know, like these clouds. And also she has kind of like a moon there. You know, the moon, I don't know if you can see it well, but in the middle of the clouds, it's like a moon, like a full moon there. So it's say like, yes, think with your heart, think with your intuition. Don't think with the past, you know, like don't allow the past limitation to dictate your future. Discernment, let's discern and learn from the past and not allow the past to become our future no more. You know, with the Mars in opposition with Saturn and Neptune trying to Uranus and Pluto, this is a ripe opportunity to break that pattern because the new already exists. It is just not yet manifest. We have to bridge the gap between this timeline and that timeline, but it is possible. So let's discern how we're gonna get there. And at the bottom we have the unexpected. Yeah, I mean, it is Aquarius, you know, ruled by Uranus in Gemini. Expect the unexpected, you know, everything is possible. Blue moon, once in a blue moon. Yeah, everything is possible, you know. Use your discernment not to make the same mistakes or not to repeat the same patterns that you know don't work no more and created this imbalance, you know. But at the same time, with the 43, that is number 7, you know, in a tarot, that is a chariot card, you know your conscious and unconscious, master the conscious and unconscious, but also expect the unexpected, you know, with the Uranus in the sign of Gemini. Everything is possible. Everything is possible when we create the mind and heart coherence. Everything is possible. And this to me always looks like a labradorite, you know, like the color of this, you know, like inside of the crystal ball, even though it is like a magical forest, right? But it looks like a labradorite, which is like a very witchy stone, right? Labradorite, very protective for stone. And yeah, this is like your human self and your higher self, you know, looking into the looking glass, looking into the crystal ball, which is saying, don't worry, you know, expect the unexpected. Miracles do happen. There are things ahead that you don't know yet. So just learn from the past, discern with your heart, use your intuition to guide you, and expect the unexpected, because we are not going for repetition, or replication, we're going for something new. because Saturn and Neptune are in Aries, Uranus is in Gemini, and Mars, which is how Pluto acts consciousness, obviously Pluto is in Aquarius, everybody retrograde, apart from Uranus, but Mars is in Libra. So the scale of justice is very present in our consciousness at the moment, right? So yeah, let's see. And Mars will remain in the sign of Libra until equinox. So we'll have Mars in the sign of Libra until the almost end of, until the end of summer. Until the end of summer, because equinox will begin the fall or the spring in southern hemisphere. So that's interesting. Yeah, and Mars will move right after the new moon solar eclipse in Virgo, new moon in Virgo number 2. Yeah, okay. Let's see what the Sun wants to tell us. What is the Queen of the Sun wanting to advise with regards to this lunation and energy that we are experiencing at the moment? Okay. What is the advice? Okay, there's a bunch of cards. Oh, and they are all the cards we had before. So I'm just going to look at them and I'm going to put them back and shuffle again. Here there is the ideas, rest and focus. Ideas, rest and focus. We had those cards before. Let's see if any of us appears again. Full moon in Aquarius. What is the guidance, please? Okay, one card. Preparation. Preparation for harvest. Look at that. Harvest, number 33. Again, Christ consciousness, heart consciousness. This is a card of the Halloween, right? Maybe, is that the equinox? I don't know. I'm not very good with this, natural celebrations times. But in any case, it is the harvest season. You can see. And we know that Mars is going to enter into the sign of Scorpio, right? Which is his rulership right after the eclipse, during the equinox. So yeah, let's prepare. Mars in the sign of Libra is going to help us to balance these scales of justice, to balance the karma, so we can free ourselves from it, so we can neutralize. By that point, Saturn is back in the sign of Pisces. Neptune is moving in October, so we have the opportunity to end these old cycles once and for all, because during the time of the next new moon in Aquarius, which will be an eclipse in February 2026, both Saturn and Neptune are on 0 degrees right before their conjunction, which will take place a few days later. So yeah, this is a preparation, this discernment and expect the unexpected is a preparation for abundance, for a different way of being, which is abundant, right? And then at the bottom is recovery. Yes, we are recovering our soul fragments. This is a rebirth, water and the fire. You are reborn, like your true soul, your true essence. This is exactly what I've been talking about for so long. It's like freeing yourself from these contracts that we have with one another, to play all these roles, to balance this old karma, but we playing this masquerade. We are playing this masquerade. This is not who I am. This is not who you are. This is what we had to become, and the roles we had to embody because of these energies that had to be embodied and manifest this karma, these emotions that are stuck in time and space in order to be balanced. And now when we balance it, when we say no more, I release myself and I release you. I don't want to play this role anymore. I just want to be free to be myself, And that's what I feel is this card. Because we're going through the rebirth, with the complete rebirth, which is the number 15, freeing ourselves from the contracts of the past, going beyond the matrix, rising above the construct of this reality, connecting to your true authentic essence, to your soul, being reborn. And this is the time of living in abundance. And these both are 6 and 6, 15 and 33, the Christ consciousness, heart-centered consciousness, and the number 15, which is the devil card, but it's also the 6, the choice. And we have Uranus in the sign of Gemini and Mercury in the sign of Leo. We are making a new choice from the heart place to balance the old, so the soul can come online and we can experience this completely different way of living life on this planet, which is heart-centered, which is abundant, which gives the sense of fulfillment and meaning and purpose, right? So yeah, discern what it is not. Learn from the past, observe the cycles, use your intuition, use your gut, and expect the unexpected. Trust and surrender. that your higher self has your back, universe has your back. You know, the 7, number of Neptune. Everything is playing out exactly as it must for this to take place, for the scales of justice to be balanced, and for us to be released from the contracts of the past, so we can live in this new authentic way from heart. Let's see about portal. What portal is opening up for us? And of course we have a portal of the day before on the 8-8. I'm gonna record it separately, but the portal of the full moon in Aquarius. What is the energy, which again doesn't get lost on me, you know? 8-8, and the day of the full moon adds up to number 8. 9-8 of the year 9 is the 8. So let's see. Halls of learning, spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. This very much to me is like the discernment. You don't have to have all the experiences that all those before you had. Just learn from the past, you know, halls of learning. You have an access to everything. Oh, wow. And at the bottom we have the third eye activation, which is the cover card. This is what is the cover of the deck, you know, the box. Yeah, here we go. This is the booklet. Wow, I never pulled this card before. Third eye activation. And look, that's where her moon is. You know by feeling, not by understanding. You know by feeling. Your soul knows, you know. The higher self knows. Expect the unexpected awakenings. The recovering of your soul. The soul recall. Brow chakra, inner vision, clear seeing. Clarity, yeah, the opposition, Mars in Libra in opposition with Saturn and Neptune, and also the Mercury still in opposition with Pluto, right? And also the Sun in opposition with the Moon. We have all these oppositions, illuminations. Learn from the past, connect with your inner knowing. Okay, let's see. Let's just read the short message, because I've not pulled either of these cards before, so let's see what is the guidance. I'm just going to learn read the message, the halls of learning. So that's this one, and also the golden age for humanity. Your message. You are on the path to great learning. Spiritual beings are drawing close to you to support you. If you are facing challenging or difficult circumstances, or have just moved through such a time, you are being called to review what you have learned. Discernment, what you have learned about yourself. If you're still feeling overwhelmed by a certain event or asking why it happened, call on Source and your guides to reveal to you the pattern, trauma, or wound that has contributed to this challenge. If you aren't experiencing challenging energy, the reason is that you've made huge progress on your spiritual journey, so much so that your perspective has shifted and that you can view every challenge as a window of opportunity. The halls of learning gateway indicates that your spiritual gifts are developing at this time. Yeah, and I'm sure part of that is the third eye activation. You know, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. We cannot stay on this planet without fully embodying, not fully, without remembering who we are. Third eye activation. The gateway encourages you to unlock your psychic abilities and to stop questioning your divine ability to see. Know that great potential and healing will be unleashed when this space is activated. If you have an intuition about something, trust what you are seeing. This is a sacred time for the psychic potential that you have had since childhood is awakening from slumber. You've always been a dreamer, sometimes thinking about how the future will show up or revisiting the past. Now the gifts that have been discouraged in the past are reawakening, and your inner vision is stronger than you imagine. You have an innate ability to see further than human eyes and are able to identify the energies of what is going on around you with your activated third eye. This gateway is here as a confirmation that you are seeing and experiencing, that what you are seeing and experiencing is in divine alignment, and that you are being supported as you develop this source-given gift. Yeah, and when you look at the chart of this moon, there are two kites. mystic rectangle and like this house with the roof, you know, there is a lot of support, and also we have the grand air trine, right? Grand air trine. So it's knowing beyond understanding, logical understanding, knowing beyond, going beyond what our mind, limited mind, knows. Okay, let's see. This is a deck that called to me. It's calling to me a lot recently, this deck. It's called the Cosmic Crossroads. I'm sorry, I have to rearrange myself because my leg is going to sleep. Cosmic Crossroads from Amanda Lynn Aisling. And yeah, every time that I'm thinking about, oh, what deck should I use? And then I'm being guided to some deck, and then I actually find this deck, and then I realize that this is the deck I was meant to find. So this was the case also today. So Cosmic Crossroads, because I feel this is where many of us are, especially with all these 1 degrees and Pluto on 2 degrees, which is the choice point, and this air trine. What will you decide that might not make sense to anybody else, but it feels right to you? Cosmic Crossroads, where are we at? Full moon in Aquarius 2025. Cosmic Crossroads, Spirit. It's not telling. It's like you have to decide for yourself. Okay, just the general guidance, please. Okay, few cards. Oh wow, we had these ones before. I know we had this one before. Freedom. You know, free to choose whatever you want. Is it the poisoned mushroom? Is it the cactus? You know, but there is a rainbow. It's any choice is divinely supported. You decide, you know, and that's what I mean. Spirit, I'm not telling you. You decide for yourself, Crossroad, where you want to go from here. Number 19, freedom to choose for yourself. You know, this flying carpet. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to fly to? And it's a number 19, which is the sun card. You know, the rebirth, just like this one. It's a 15, balance. You know, the rebirth. Number 19, the number 10. You choose where you want to go from here. Where do you want to go next year in a year of the reset? Number 33, again, we had the number 33 here. Abundance. Preparation for abundance. And here we have regret. You know, so many of us are stuck in the past of the regrets of the things we did or didn't do, right? It's time to let it go. Understand all the choices ever made had a purpose and a meaning. So there's no point regretting anything, because there was always something that was being learned from the experience, even if it was very detrimental experience. But would have he had not happened, we wouldn't have known. You know, everything has a purpose and meaning. So a lot of us are being drawn in the regrets, you know, looking at our life and wishing and hoping and not wanting to be where we at, you know, like this ghost of the past. So that's why we have Mars in the sign of Libra, to showing us where is the imbalance. There's no point regretting, you know, we are just wasting time. Like, how are we going to balance these energies? You know, tune into your emotions, tap into your emotions. A lot of healing. Healing is required. You can choose whatever you want, but there is no point regretting. It's a full moon. The moon is illuminating to us what is out of balance, but also where can we make different choices? Where can we break the pattern? Be authentic to ourselves, act on our heart, you know, and try to do what we feel is the right thing, even though it might not always feel good to everyone, right? And then at the bottom is sadness. Yeah, I also feel that, you know, at the end of the day, we are still in a Leo season, sadness. And this is a 35, number 8, the nostalgia of the past, you know. Like, we all want to be free, like that bird, you know, the sadness, the nostalgia. Moon in Aquarius, I want to be free. I don't want all these responsibilities. I don't want all this way of karma. You know, the choices made, yeah, like I, you know, have a regrets over the choice I made. I feel sad because I feel stuck, you know, trapped by the choices I have made. But you can decide anew. You know, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And also, you know, these birds, you are free to fly. You know, she's got this bowl in her hand. There is so much we hold in our hand and we are unaware of, and all this green as well. Again, healing, you know, all the rainbow, all the chakras. You are a miracle, and you can decide, you know, you can decide to live this life differently. But I can feel it in myself. I can feel it in those around me. There is a lot of sadness, you know, a lot of sadness because we have so many regrets. Like, you know, we always do the best we can in every moment, or what is available to us with our level of consciousness. And now here we are, and this right here and right now, and many people are not particularly happy. So there is a lot of sadness and nostalgia with the Leo, especially with the Jupiter being a sign of Cancer, now Venus being a sign of Cancer, conjunct Jupiter, and Sun, transiting through the second decan of Leo. The Moon is on the second decan of Leo, which is this Sagittarius decan. So the old stories are coming around to be really felt and embodied, so they can be transmuted, transcended, so we can release all of these things, so we can go beyond the pattern, but it doesn't mean it's all easy. Sadness is part of life. It's part of life, but it shows you what really matters, the grief. We learn from the past. Let's not regret the past. Let's learn from it. And then we can let it go. Let the old ghost to go to rest by feeling what needs to be felt. And forgiveness. Yeah, forgiving it. Because everybody has the freedom to decide for themselves. He's also the rainbow, double rainbow. This is all divinely guided and orchestrated, everything that's going on. This is a time for us to go through what we're going through. We are ready for it. So it can be done once and for all. We can be free once and for all to live our life, where the karma is being paid off. The hungry ghost of the past can finally sleep, go to rest, and we can be free to just live our life authentically without feeling that we owe something to someone, and there is still the regret connected to that. Okay, final messages from Major Arcana, please. Final messages from Major Arcana about the full moon in Aquarius. The final guidance from the Spirit. What is it, Spirit? Okay, rolled. Yeah, maturation, graduation, because things are ending. The 21, so new things can begin, new things can be created. The grand fixed cross we have here, the grand fixed cross. There is a lot of pressure because the foundation is no longer working. It doesn't allow for authentic expression, for freedom. It makes us feel disempowered. We graduated from that way of living. This is the Saturn graduation. Saturn is in Aries because a new cycle is beginning. And at the bottom is a Tower. Yeah, and the Hanged Man. There are a lot of unexpected things happening. So people are awakening. We are all realizing, who we really are and what's happening. We come into our awareness. The consciousness is expanding. It's time to wake up. Because this old cycle has ended, it's time to wake up. This is a full moon in Aquarius. It's showing us. And yeah, the illumination, this is an awakening. Will it happen tomorrow? No, these things happen fast. These things happen slow. The disruption can be immediate, but it leads to awakening, to full embodiment of the Spirit. Yeah, this is the same thing. The same thing. Because you already are enlightened, you already mastered everything, but you came here to live life as a human, spirit embodied and human. And that takes time, the awakening takes time. 12 and 21, 12 and 21. Yeah, sometimes this is necessary for us to realize that, oh, I already outgrown this. I already graduated from that. I don't have to keep repeating that. Sometimes things have to happen to remind us. So we awaken. Justice, here she is. And the karma can be paid off. The balance can be established. The old emotions can be satiated. What you need is what your ancestors needed. They just thought that they were going to fulfill those needs and desires in a different way because the times were different. But you need what you need. And these are the unfulfilled desires of those that walk this earth before you. And you know what it is because you know how it feels. Venus is in Cancer. Jupiter is in Cancer. Only you know. Only you know. Yeah, 2 and 11. 2 and 2. Do we have the Judgment as well? No, it's the Hierophant, because a new foundation has to be created. I stopped with that. So yeah, we have the 6 cards. So we know this. Us as a humanity has graduated. The cycles are ending. We know that Saturn is going to Pisces, Neptune is going to Pisces only for a few more months than we've done. So there is a lot of disruption going on in our life that leads to awakening. We have to realize who we really are. We are the spirit walking the earth in a human form, but we are not what we were being told we were by the structures, right? The justice has to be balanced, the karma, the scales of justice. And you know what's the right thing for you. You have to connect with your intuition to guide you, because we graduated from the Saturnian way of living, you know, when your needs and your freedom and your sense of empowerment and authenticity was being restricted, you know, the fixed signs. New foundation has to be created. Number 5. Yeah, through chaos and disruption sometimes. So yeah, and there is a sadness connected to that, because we know it's not going to be all easy, but it's going to be worth it. And you already can experience in this lifetime, you know, some of that frequency. And yeah, this, like, yeah, it's like our ancestors, you know, how you say, planting the trees in whose shade they never got to sit. We are creating a timelines for the future that we might not fully experience in this lifetime. We've experienced some of it, you know, on the emotional and frequency level, energetic level, but we will not see the full totality of this change of the, you know, human world that we are experiencing here. But it has to start somewhere. It starts with the first step, and now we are in the in between. So when you take your first step, which direction are you choosing to go? And that's what this full moon is illuminated to us, that there are a lot of options available. The karma is not going to be balanced by making the same choices and feeling the same emotions. The emotions have to be embodied, so we know what we're playing with, but in order to balance one side of the scale, the opposite have to be created. So what do we know? Our ancestors sacrificed. They lived a life of sacrifice and suffering. So how can we balance this karma? Yes, we are embodying the sacrifice and the pain and the suffering to make a new choice, to find how can I live a life that is more joyous, that is more authentic, that is more fulfilling. And this is how you helping to balance the scales, not by living the same way they did, but by feeling the way they felt and making a different choice, so you can heal it, create the antidote. Okay guys, with that I would like to close. I thank everyone for watching. I thank everyone for being here, including my spirit team. And I hope that some of these messages were helpful. I'm very grateful to the cards for the further guidance with regards to these energies. And yes, stay tuned for the 8/8 portal video. I will tune in exactly on a day, see what the energies are. But we know that the Aquarius full moon is ruled by Uranus, so expect the unexpected. So have a great week ahead, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Bye everyone.